everyone. Hi again. Hope you guys are all good. Happy World Poetry Day again. I'm so excited to be hosting you today. I am Nomza Munyadi. I'll be your host. And yeah, I'm looking forward to everything that's going to be happening today in our live. So Poetry Day in South Africa, in the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, I would believe that this is a day where we encourage people to read, write, teach, and publish poetry, and to recognize the great cultural contribution poetry makes to human society. And I like that so much because we get to experience different poets from different countries to speak their own inspiration of arts. So before we start, I just want to acknowledge our sponsors and our supporters and our partners at the CCA in the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and that is first the University of KwaZulu-Natal, the National Arts Council, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, the President Employment Stimulus, Francis de Durban. We can clap hands and acknowledge them and react and all of that. So yeah, each poet is gonna have 10 minutes, and I will introduce you guys before you actually can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. I don't know. It is saying that my network is unstable, so I just wanted to confirm if everyone can still hear me. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the bio first, and then introduce the person, and then the 10 minutes starts from there. So the first person to go was born in Zimbabwe, but has resided in Lesotho for over 20 years. She's an activist who uses her poetry and songs to promote change. She has participated in many films and has been recognized as the best female artist in the Infinite magazine, and that is Siphiwe Nzima. Please forgive me if I pronounced your name in the wrong way, but it's Siphiwe Nzima. Can we all acknowledge Siphiwe Nzima as she starts her session? Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for having me on this lovely platform. I am truly honored to be invited here to celebrate with South Africa on this special day. Human Rights Day is quite huge. And also the fact that it's World Poetry Day, it also is a miracle as well that we get to celebrate these two events in one day. I'm like Nomzamo says, I'm Siphiwe Nzima. I live in Lesotho. I'm a poet, an activist, an actress, a singer and a writer, and so many other hustles. So with that being said, I'm going to give you 3 poems. And these 3 poems, the first one is called The Poem That Is Not a Poem. I wanted to write about pain, about neglect, about unrequited love, about heartache, about yearning, about the simplicity of one needing a hug, a shoulder, a safe space to let it all out, about true friendship. Instead, I could not find the inspiration to pen such a poem. I tried looking for it within my circles, my family, my every single corner that used to be a haven for me. But all I found was a vacuum so stagnant, I ended up choking on its existence. Everywhere I went, I found nothing but anger, anguish, despair, sadness, and an emptiness that is threatening to consume me further into this dark abyss of misery. So I went and sought out love, comfort, happiness, and care, only to be met with savage intentions, so to finish off what's left of my dying spirit. The ink in my pen has run out from writing and rewriting this poem and has done nothing but waste away precious pages for my memories. I am left with retreating from life, to find meaning in isolation, to look upon the heavens for this inspiration. Problem is, there is only one way to reach this destination, It requires an elevation to a higher plane that is beyond human comprehension. This is not a poem to be written, but a story to take to my grave. Here's to finding peace between these desecrated walls to emancipation. Thank you. And as you know, thank you. For my next poem, as you know, our societies, especially within the African continent, abuse is quite rife, especially with murder of women and children. So in terms of talking about human rights, I penned down this poem in relation to that, and this is my story. Black man, get it together. You've done lost your way. In this kingdom, you, my king, you've done lost your place. Without remorse or recourse, you've done gone insane. You claim that you care, that you are there, just to slap my face. Black man, are you even there? Can you see me here? Do you want me here? Or do I make you mad? Or do you want me dead? Black man, I live in fear of the monster in your shadow, afraid to breathe in case it provokes you. You thirst my blood while giving me love, but leaving me afraid of tomorrow. What has happened to you, my black brother? Wake up, black man, you've done lost your heart. You are raping and killing your women and children. Do you hear their screams as we take our lives? Do our tears incite anger as we plead for life? Do you find pleasure when you watch us die? Black man, wake up. Your women are dying, your children are crying, your homes are crumbling, your families are broken, your cities are burning, our faith is shaking, our protection is fading, our lives are fading. Your kingdom, black man, is falling. Wake up. Your women and children are suffering. That is called Black Man. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. In the spirit of activism, again, I do tend to focus on issues that relate to human rights. And more especially, I do concentrate on women's rights and children, like I said earlier. And most of my work, as you hear, it tends to have that trend within it. And this one is actually a song, but I will read it like this. It's called The Nerve. Give me the swindler who stole our destinies and tampered with our blessings from conception, discredited our ambitions of higher aspirations and tied our fates with traditional bindings, degreed the degradation of our existence. I want to tell him he's got the nerve. Listen, who is this con man so afraid of our femininity, running his mouth, disseminating slanderous mockery, colonizing our abilities and calling it culture, demeaning our intelligence and calling it hormones, dear Lord, as if he knows the significance. Where does he get the nerve? Tell me this, where does this charlatan get his ridiculous notions of grandeur, violently advocating the extinction of the enlightened goddess, banning us to menial tragedy, asserting his falseness, using his fist to suppress his superiors? My God, how inferior. Yet we are strong enough, we bring mankind into existence. His nerve. Say, why? Why are we afraid of this imposter? Shifting the blame like we don't tango to the same song, content to sing along instead of leading by example, shackled to the misguided fears of an inferiority complex and begging for humiliation and displaying the scars like trophies. Now you've got the nerve. Overcome this confinement of perpetual slavery. Stand your ground in the face of this oppressor. Fight for your humanity as a people, your identity as a culture, your rights as individuals, and your stand as equals. Tell this bigot he's got the nerve. Stop giving away pieces of your integrity for an illusion, nourishing his wickedness with buckets of your tears, hiding his weaknesses and demeaning your stature, and hiding from your strength and lurking in his shadow. Show him you've got the nerve. Yank out this hypocrite from the mantra of your destiny. Deny him your essence for a mere presence in your heart. Show him the gate of the lost city of the ignorant. Tell him, I said, tell him your preference can never be changed by his opinion because you've got the nerve. Thank you so much and God bless.
Yo, I felt it. I felt it. I felt that you were standing on behalf of all the women who are victims of gender-based violence and all the children who are also victims. Thank you so much for that. It was so touching and really life-altering for a man who's watching. I just wanted to ask people, get your music or your song.
I'm sorry, you just cut off a bit there. I didn't quite get the last part.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. I'm afraid she's cut off.
Thank you. My name is Irina Starovoit. I speak to you from Ukraine. I'm a poet and a university professor. I teach cultural studies and the history of ideas. My major concern to speak today in this very important day, the World Day of Poetry and World Day of Human Rights, is probably to remind you that my country now is at war, and this is a war of aggression from a mighty, powerful neighbor. It is not very well known fact that Ukraine had no so-called white privilege, not whatsoever. Our ancestors were enslaved by Russian Imperatrice Catherine the Great back in the late 18th century, and they were slaves for Russian aristocracy and Russian Orthodox Church for more than 100 years. Then they were released by 1861, but still were indebted to their masters. And in 1930s, Stalin and Stalinism in the Soviet Union has reintroduced the slave-like status for Ukrainian farmers for almost next 30 years. So my speech today will be in relationship to this very bloody and wounded history between Russia and Ukraine. And of course, my poetry will be political in a way. The high water came with no regard for human children. It scattered bodies and clay on the attached shore. Aphrodite returned to the foam. The line of the fold was perfect. The one who vowed to leave, left. The one who would swim, swam. Even the Moravian brother caught his biblical drift. Look through the tsunami like an X-ray. Count on the tam-tam for its prophetic timbre. They were the line is perfect, the rest is house. Someone is going to live and someone shoots an art house film. Like frost under the skin, like sweat from someone else's brow. A non-Moravian sister followed the Moravian brother. When the brother looked back, she didn't turn into a salt pillar. The perfect line bent behind the horizon. When the brother asked with his eyes, "Is it you?" the sister stroked the seawater and it let her pass. You're not alone. Don't try so hard. 1 + 1. I am the Eve of your stem cells. Let me make a credit because I'm reading in translations. Originally, I write in Ukrainian, and my translator's name is Grace Mahoney. She's based in the US. Diplomat boys with ostrich inclinations. You are clueless that someone could be born in a gas chamber and instead of dying, grows like Kotihoroshko to pump a kick and kick the soccer globe of the world. Clueless, then one can love from east to west, that one can learn the difference between right and wrong through the little causalities of everyday life, accepting condolences from you and the humanitarian aid of words. Clueless, that in a single generation, one can transform from something gaseous into fiery water and shale. We, the people, are the energy source. Diplomat boys from countries where the sun sets, now you're all just diplomat toy. Search for the cure for human madness. Look at us and don't look away. Archive the screenshots of how our boys, domestic as houseplants, suddenly grow to war and become cacti, agave, and then tequila. How our children turn gray, how our cities burn like coal, how the dead fall from the sky, how the living burrow in the earth. The first angel covers his face. How terrifyingly comfortable it is to you on the other side of the screen. And the last one. For 1,000 years, this land supported heaven with the pairs of domes, with belfries, with the yarmulkes of synagogues, with the minarets of mosques. And then Ukrainization. It's not quite what you think. It's something rather personal and doesn't happen with everyone. Simply, one morning in Kyiv, Inhiharda says to herself, Irina. Kyrillos calls himself Kyrillo, and Sergo, Serhiy. They decreed that the language didn't really exist in the first place. After that, it was rumored that the language herself was born a deaf bumpkin. As such, you can do anything to her, and she can't sue. There are no courts, because for the international tribunal, we need genocide and all such things, but there is no genocide. You see, our wars don't happen in 3 days, and people don't have 2 lives. We don't need the legislation for amnesia. On the contrary, we remember with tenacity, especially for the future. I'm a refugee. I run like blood across my land. I can't get away, but I can spill it all. Where is my packet of Salox? All that remains are just the shattered ports of our neighbors, like from Tripilla. Just heaps of slag and tears, like from Donbass. It's even better that you don't know what to do in such cases, because those who knew only said that they knew. Save me. In this land, with the pairs of domes, with belfries, with the yarmulkes of synagogues, with minarets, already so many are lost forever. You can, I know, simply see yourself in me. Say me in languages, use your tongue, salve my wounds.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry, everyone. I think it was because of my router, but now I hope you can hear me and you all can see me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rina. I love how you utilize poetry as a voice for the voiceless and how it addresses the social issues. That was perfectly done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Did you go through, did one of my colleagues went through your biography, or should I go through it before our next?
No, but I don't think it's so important. Thank you, Nomzamo.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our third poet is a curator and a poet based in Namibia, and he is an administrator at a private school, King's College, Namibia. He is also a social media manager and a project coordinator for Comrades Association, and that is Nimrod Oscar, Mr. Forward.
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be reciting 3 poems. Today's also Namibia's Independence Day. We are celebrating 33 years of independence currently. So I was like, yeah, it's Independence Day, it's Human Rights Day, and it's also World Poetry Day. So I'm super excited. Okay, so the first poem is from my upcoming book, The Aroma of a Pregnant Son. Okay, so the first one is titled Lifeless. Lifeless. When the body takes its last breath and the angel's assignment is done, do we congratulate God for a job well done, or do we weep till we feel rivers? Someone once asked me, between the rain and crying mothers, who has made the ground more wet? My response was that there are parts on earth where the clouds and the soil no longer make love, but mothers still mourn their babies' bodies. You see, when death visits, it smells like you are hated by heaven and hell. It feels like your heart has been put in a blender and the smoothie produced tastes like pain wrapped in the middle finger from the creator and taker of life. See, there is no greater pain than this. Is this what Jesus felt on the cross? In that case, I hope we cross paths in heaven, for I understand what he went through. You see, there is no therapy for losing a loved one, for you love one less now, and a broken part of you cannot be repaired. I wish I could tell you that it gets easy, but it feels like swallowing razor blades. I wish I could breathe life back, but that's God's only job. I don't want to make him unemployed, for I know what that's like. Dear Lord, I'm sorry for sounding rude. The voice of my pain is too loud. I wish I could make it stop, but my tears are filled with stones. They are too heavy. Lord, carry this cross for me, for I can't anymore, and suicide feels like my only way out. The pain is too much. My back feels like I'm on a bed of hot needles. Is this some sick joke of an excuse of a test? In that case, Lord, give me 0, for I'm failing to understand the assignment. For what's the reason for going through all this torture? They say heaven is a missed call away. In that case, I wish I get one more call to say goodbye to my ambuya, my grandmother. Yeah, that was the first piece. So the second piece I'll be reading is got no title. I struggle with titling my poems, but hope you guys enjoyed. Okay. It goes, the first time I saw you, I got high off your presence, and I told myself that as long as I can still speak, I have to let you know that your beauty has my heart practicing for the World Gymnastics Olympics. My heart has been performing tricks I've never saw before. When you introduced yourself, I swear heaven spoke to me in love, and for the first time, I felt alive enough to love again. I am a vessel empty and hoping to be filled with your contents. Toxic or paradise, baby girl, love me with your all. I'm ready to do a backflip and dive into the sea of your love, and I'm hoping that your currents won't be too hard for me to learn to swim in. For I wanna puncture the sun just long enough for me to watch its glow flow on you. You have captivated my ability to think straight because I'm constantly trying to bend over to get to you. In case no one has told you, your beauty is extraterrestrial. Your beauty is out of this world. You see, the thing is that I want to make you the profile picture to my heart so that when someone comes knocking, they will see to whom it belongs to. Give me a chance to call you happiness, even if it's just for a minute or two. After all, we only live once. So what are we waiting for? Hold my hands. Let's go make people crave for what we have at KFC, at every mall, at the Grove. My bad, I forgot. Do like going out that much? Let me take things slow. Let's hold hands through the park. Let's show people how beautiful love is. Let's show people how beautiful passion is without the killing. Yeah, that was the second piece. Okay, so my third piece is titled Trust Issues. trust issues. She asked me if I trust issues and I couldn't give an answer. So I just laughed it off and pretended as if that question didn't send trigger shots down my spine. So I wrote this poem in hopes to address that. The thing is that I have been betrayed so many times that if betrayal was a currency, my wealth would make Bill Gates feel like a street vendor selling secondhand clothes next to Pep. We live in a world where thieves now wear suits and we call them Papa Go Deeper without knowing which deeper they should go. Deeper into our mothers and sisters or deeper into the pockets of our fathers and mothers. We live in a world where politicians are good at pickpocketing from our pockets. I am tired of fake prophets profiting from our profits without us questioning why has the church become more profitable than running a nightclub. It is a club for the elite. You with your 2 cents can't sit in the front row. Can't you use your common sense and see that there is no sense in what you're claiming to be worshiping? Can someone please make it make sense for me? I am in a pool of confusion. I thought Christ was my ticket to heaven. Now I have to ask the man who claims to be from the man from above how much entrance is to heaven. If you have to pay for my blessings from God, freely you are given the anointing to anoint, but now a bottle of anointing costs more than a bottle of alcohol. So tell me, where should I spend my Sunday service? Should I spend my Sunday sessions? Do I spend it anointing my throat with that holy water, or should I try and get some alcohol, which goes for cheaper? Fundraising is what the junior pastors call it. Tell me, do you see the God I worship in the shepherd that is constantly eating his sheep? They say practice what you preach, but I think it's do more as I say and not as I do, because it's a monkey see and a monkey do world out here. They say trust is gained, but the only thing these hypocrites are gaining are big stomachs, while the masses they are leading are developing kwashoka faster than kids in utopia. I am trying to create a utopia out of broken dreams. So tell me, why won't I have trust issues? Yep, those were my 3 poems.
Thank you so much, Oscar. Thank you so much. Beautiful pieces, and I saw that Ashley was even smiling and blushing on the second one. Okay. Our fourth poet, she is a performer, a TED speaker from Johannesburg in South Africa. She currently holds 3 slam titles to her name, and that is Nairobi Slam Champion 2022, TEWOP Slam Champion, and the Knight Embassy Slam Champion 2022, and that is Ashley Moyo. Go Ashley.
Sorry about that. Yes, most definitely. That second poem, I took a step back. I was like, okay, we're going on a trip on this one. Yes, so most of my writing is just centered or rooted and in women and appreciating women. So on this set, I come from a lineage, sorry about that. I come from a lineage of women, powerful women. So that is where I source most of my writing from. And that being said, to understand who I am, I have to understand, obviously, the backpack that I carry. And these are the poems that are in this backpack. So the first poem that I'm going to perform is called Elope Me to Amnesia. So there was a fire that happened. It happened in Boksburg, not too far from where I live. And it was an explosion where a truck got stuck under a bridge and everything was lost. And what remained was this woman. And in my head, I was like, how would she survive? And I wrote it from a perspective of just that. If I was her, I think I would have to have forgotten just to stay alive. Please, I am begging you, remind me to forget, remind me. Vow me this, for this is the only bait breath will take to eye life back into my body. Not prayer, My living is in my forgetting. So let amnesia consume me whole, leave no muscle in memory. They never dared to ask why remembrance nurses my dying, why it is a constant smell of burning breath trying to hold on to its own skin. The last sight of my son was silent, held hostage by the flame, and I didn't have enough time as ransom to save him. My husband, he did not fight the war in hopes of its remorse, but he too knows that the good man always finishes last. Remembrance is a self-hate, for women was supposed to be a furnace. I was supposed to swallow the flame, but instead I watched. Now I do not know how to speak of my children in past tense. I do not know how to wear widow with the same courage as a wife. So you tell me why this gift of memory they pray for is greater than that of amnesia. To remember is to forgive the fire, and I am not ready yet. Wait, how do I remember this? Their prayers are working. No, please summon the fire again if you have to. Do you not see that my memory is for their sake? A walking lost in the congregation does not sit well with them, but what about me and what I lost in the fire? Am I not gone already? So if ever they do find me making snow angels from the colors that leak from my wrist, do not stop this art or bring holy water to resuscitate my heart, for I would have finally found enough courage to forgive the fire. Yes, that is the first piece. Thank you. The second piece is called No Dowry for Broken Hymens. Hymens break easy when raised in shaky homes. Grandmother teaches, once you wed and lie with man, blood is to remain on the sheets as a form of purity. But not all girls get the luxury of giving their virginity by choice. There is always an uncle turning a uterus into an asylum at the family gathering. So for the sake of grandmother's ego-belief, tonight when you lie with man, lie with the razors and scalpels underneath your tongue, bleed. Bleed from anywhere for hymens, till the sheets too are under the deception that your purity is leaving for the first time. Let the clans ululate in your deception. Today, they will be a dowry for a broken hymen. That's No Dowry for Broken Hymens. And then as we journey into storytelling, this piece means a lot to me, mostly because of the women dynamics in it and how from the same pool of water you can find pain in is the same fountain you can still find healing in, and just finding out that concept. So this one's called Judas is Female. Will Judas's chariot please stand up? Judas, and eyes eagle out into the crowd in search of a man to stand, but I am the only one standing. Judas was female. Women, when did we get ya? A place where our love for each other has turned into a boomerang, goes out into the world to return with each other's men. When did the pheromones of men who did not join wholly in matrimony reek from our skin? I guess when betrayal arrives in an anatomy that looks like your mother, your dissentient spirit gets harder to listen to. So we wine and dine, breaking each other's bones and bodies as a form of bread. Betrayal has become our messiah. I was only 10 when saying grace felt like blasphemy. Amen's too busy drowning to make it to heaven. Judas set our house on fire, but everyone was focused on adjusting the aircon. My siblings and I have become smokers ever since. The art of inhaling toxicity in a form of you were too young to be involved. So we never question why vows are said if not meant. Till death do us part, but why stay when the parting happens before the death? But today, we are all gathered for the Last Supper. Seated on the right hand of the Father is my father's lineage, kids that did not heal. His father too busy absent to teach table manners, so they all eat from the pots. The traumas are seen in the manner they eat. They do not use napkins or utensils, so leaving stains on their kids is an inevitable thing. When my mother loves my father, she is also parent to the lost boy inside. In all of this, my mother is still saying grace at the dinner table. Seated on the left, there it sat a serpent, coiled around my father's chest. Judas knows that the way to a man's heart is through his traumas, so she plays with the lost boy inside my father. What becomes of man trapped inside his childhood? What becomes of my siblings and I in all of this? No time to be child when our limbs are too busy holding up my mother's smile. No time to be child when my siblings are home for their school fees or busy building up Judas's home. In all of this, my mother is still saying grace at the dinner table. In that moment, my anger brews into a Molotov cocktail, set alight by all of this anger. I want to show Judas what I have been praying for. Turn her head into a piñata, unravel Hitler's concentration camp inside her womb. I want her to feel like me. That because of her, I have seen father become phantom, limbs we are still trying to gather from our backyard to keep the table stable. Ashley, says my mother, we do not fight with our fists. We fight with our knees. Do you not see that your Father art in heaven, and he that is just down here is man looking for refuge in him too? I go back into saying grace, praying that I too can embody the godliness within my mother. So if anyone ever asks for Jesus to stand up, my mother and I will always be standing. Thank you very much.
You. Woo. Whew, I felt that. While I was going through the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture statement for today's World Poetry Day, I came across this. They say the observance of World Poetry Day is also to restore a dialogue between poetry and the other arts such as theater, dance, music, and painting. So when I saw you adding those gestures and the character in your poem, it made me visualize where you are coming from as a poet, and I loved that so much. Thank you so much. What a beautiful pieces. And I saw you during this other poem, which added a rhythm to it. That's why it aligns with this article. Thank you so much, poets. Thank you so much for an amazing session with you guys. I was told that it should end before an hour ends. So before we close and before we end it, I just want each and every one of you to just 1 minute to tell people where they can get maybe your poems, your work, your music. Just 1 minute or even 30 seconds, and then we can carry on and wrap it all up. But otherwise, what a beautiful piece of art that you guys have delivered today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna start with you, Piwe, Zima, and Arina, and Nimrod, then Ashley. Okay, we can go to Arina.
This book, so far I have just one book in English translations. It's called Field of Foundlings, and it is on Amazon.
All right, thank you so much. Nimrod, your work.
Okay, for me, I can be found on Instagram at poet_Mr. Poet. So that is poet Mr. Poet with the underscore separating the words. So like all my other links can be found on my Instagram.
On the page. All right, thank you so much, sir. Ashley.
All right, yes. You can find me on Instagram. I am Ashley Moyo, then it's underscore. So the underscore goes to the end. And also on Facebook, it's Ashley Moyo. And then on Instagram, there is a link there for you to find more articles on Odd Magazine, and you'll be able to read more of my work over there. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sure people are going to be going through all what you've said today so that they can have more of your arts. Isn't it a beautiful coincidence that I'm using Apiwe Moyo's device for today's session? And there's Ashley Moyo. Yeah, but thank you so much for an amazing session, creatives, and to a beautiful journey ahead. The CCA will keep contact with you. You are automatically on our database, and I hope we can keep this relationship forward. We also have an anthology from CCA. I'm sure we all know the Poetry Africa festivals from the CCA at UKZN. Yes, so we have an anthology. This is how it looks. And it has all the poems of the poets who has been participating from the first edition of Poetry Africa Festival. And this is the second one, and it's called #poetry. You can or you may order through CCA. You can email us, or you can email Sipindile or any of the team that has been communicating with you throughout this process of being here today. So they are currently on sale. They are currently on sale, and they are 100 rands each. So if you want to order, again, you may contact us, even myself, on my emails where I will cease it. And then from there, you can have your own copy. It has all the poems and all the poets in different languages. It's a beautiful piece of art as well. So yeah, I think that's where we need to end for today. Does anyone have any question? Right. All right. Thank you so much for today, creatives. To a beautiful journey ahead. Thank you, thank you, thank you.